Hey guys, welcome back. 10:20 a.m. Eastern Standard Time right now. I have a small little green day here, up $400. Unfortunately, OPAD, man, you guys are gonna laugh when you see this one. It was pretty frustrating. It was frustrating. I posted a screenshot in the Discord of those trades, and basically I was trying to get the bottom just a little bit of a bounce, and I tried 3 times, every time cutting my losses, and I gave back so many profits on this one because I was actually up $300 on OPAD. This is so frustrating. Literally the last ticker, boom, it rips, or the last candle. I'll talk about these trades, and then I also want to share 2 potential swing trade entries that I'm looking to do in my Roth IRA swing trade account. 2 tickers that you guys are probably familiar with, and I'm not totally decided on which one I want to trade. One is more of a support bounce, and the other one is looking to be a stronger front side move with good momentum behind it. So we'll see which one I go for. All right, let's get started, and we'll start with OPAD. So this ticker on the daily, we had a really significant zone around 16. This is the spot I was looking at, and I was basing a lot of my trades around this area on the daily. Now, this ticker was a $3.4 billion company, a little bit larger than I usually like to trade. And I think maybe that's why I didn't do so well on it today. The price action was kind of throwing me around a little bit. The first trade on it was actually quite okay. And this is when we had a significant move over 16. We found support on this ticker around 16, and then we had a move over here, and I bought the pullback looking for continuation, but I just noticed that the volume was really light for a potential breakout here, and I wasn't really super stoking on this ticker overall. It wasn't my classic small cap gap and go ticker, so I kind of closed it out. Good thing, because it ended up failing. I was up like 300 on this move right here, which wasn't the best, but an okay way to start the day, especially for a ticker or a setup that actually ended up failing. So again, can't really complain. Now, this is the part where it gets interesting. It has a huge morning panic around 11%, and I know there's big support at 15, but I'm patient. I'm like, there's no need to get aggressive, so I'm just gonna wait. Guess what? It ends up selling off, and I buy this low dip here, looking for just a little bit more of a pop. My sell order was like right around this area. I think it was like at 81 or something. So really just needed a little bit more of a pop to make a pretty decent little profit. Unfortunately, it didn't do that, and I closed for a little bit of a loss, which was kind of frustrating. Maybe getting a little bit emotional. Anyway, he pops back, starts doing the green candle. I'm like, okay, this could be the move back to the $15 zone, but no, pops lower, and I close again. And then it pops lower one more time. I buy this move right here, somewhere in this area, but then I get shaken out right here at the low, and that was the perfect low, because after that, it had a really nice reversal right here. Around 7%. Obviously, this line was not drawn until this second dip down here. So, you might be thinking, Alex, why didn't you just trade it here and here? But those lines were not drawn yet. Only in hindsight would have I known that. But yeah, so I basically buy the dip here, looking to take some quick profits on this move, about a 2% move. I miss it literally by a few cents. I buy this dip, looking for a little bit bigger move, miss it by a few cents again, sell out, and then I buy again right around this area, and I stop out here, and I miss that 7% bounce. So OPAD, I could have made, could have been a really, coulda, shoulda, woulda, right? I could easily be up on this one 500 instead of being down 500. I could also be, over 1,000 on this ticker if I just seconds. We're talking about seconds of different trading today. So it's just one of those kind of sessions where, 3 reds in a row and you're just like, ugh. So this was a little bit frustrating, but I ended up not trading it again because I felt like my emotions were impaired at this point. I was all these moves on it, I was just getting really emotional. I was just like, I should just go double size on it, and I was having all these thoughts. I was like, the best thing to probably do is just not trade this ticker, and that's what I did. LPTX, really quick trade on this one. Actually had a perfect spot, but I didn't hold. I thought we were going to keep having sell-offs till about 2-3, and that's really where I wanted to throw in my size. Ended up kind of missing that one, but I wasn't really too interested in trading LPTX. This was a huge gapper, 65% actually, which is ridiculous, but it's been selling off ever since, and I don't like to usually trade tickers that are just trending to the downside, so I wasn't too interested in LPTX. BROS, this was my last trade I just did. This was also a larger ticker. I think it's like a coffee brew house in the west of America. I don't know, and I don't really care. But the price action on it was okay. It was bigger ticker, is kind of choppy. I mean, it wasn't super clean, but in a way, it was kind of predictable. We had these sell-offs, breakout, big sell-offs, breakout, sell-off, breakout. Then we were coming up with this pullback, and I was like, well, clearly 48 is big resistance zone, so I don't think we're going to break 48. And I was kind of thinking if we do break it, it probably won't last. And actually, that's exactly what happened. But I figured, it was too soon to totally dump already. I didn't see a dump coming just yet. So I bought here on the pullback towards 9 EMA. I went with, a half size, only $10,000. And I wrote this pretty much towards 48, and then I just got out. So pretty simple trade there, pocketed 247 on that one. And then IRNT, this is the one that is a bit of a Wall Street bet hype ticker. Also $3.4 billion company. These are all large companies, so maybe that's why I didn't do good trading today, because I just was not in my ballpark of tickers that I'm usually trading. Anyway, let's go here to the daily. So I did kind of what felt at the time a little bit of a ballsy trade, probably because I was already down on the day, and I don't know. I was like, well, what happens if I go down just $200-300 more, whatever? Let me try to get back in the green here. I don't know. It felt a little bit of a cowboy trade. IRNT was a pretty big winner of yesterday. I had a small loss on this one actually yesterday. I was down like 300 on this ticker, but yeah, strong power hour move on IRNT, absolutely ridiculous, and I think this could be a quality swing trade if it maintains to hold its highs. I didn't do any pre-market trading on this one because it was kind of choppy and low volume, and I don't know, just didn't look nice. Eventually, we had two strong dips to the downside, but then we popped back here and found support at 40. And this is when I was like, okay, well, there's a chance that we're going to have a retrace to 40 VWAP. So I started accumulating into this pullback. I missed a lot of entries. I had several entries right below the 50 line, so like 39.47 and so on. So right pretty much in this area I had few entries. All of them were missed. And then the one I actually ended up getting is one I actually chased a little bit. I was like, oh, come on. Are you kidding me? How am I missing this move? By cents again. I was having flashbacks to what ticker was that? OPAD. I was having flashbacks of just having timing a little bit off. So I chased this one a little bit. I removed my limit orders, and it spikes down here a little bit again. And I'm like, okay, I chase it, and now it's selling off. Anyway, I had another 100, 200 shares I wanted to accumulate in this area. I missed it again, and then it started crawling up here, and I just went ahead and took profits really quickly on this one. My goal was not to have a break of VWAP, so I traded this one quite conservatively, but I don't regret it. I felt like there was more risk than potential upside here, so I did all right. I mean, I'm ending the day up maybe like 2-3%, actually probably like 3% based on my average size. So it's not like a bad day. It feels a little bit more of like a scratch day. Like I'm ending green, which is nice because it was a hectic day. There was a lot of nonsense today, but it's just like yesterday. Yesterday I was so close to having one of my best days ever, and I just tripped over myself. And today, yeah, the market wasn't that good, so I'm not as upset maybe as yesterday. Yesterday I was really frustrated, but just goes to show that sometimes with day trading, you're literally seconds away from having maybe a green or red day, because sometimes if this just was like moved up just a little bit more, or if I just waited an extra second or two, sometimes that can make all the difference. But whatever, I can't fantasize about what could have been. So I'm pretty happy, I guess, that I'm green. Now, I do want to talk about two trades or two setups that look really, really juicy. The first one is Space. Space, I always like trading Space. Let me actually come down here to the cash account, which I haven't really used on this one in a long time, just to clear up the charts a little bit. Now, Space has been really finding a lot of support roughly in the 13-14 zone, and it's been making higher lows. So our first low was somewhere in this area, then moved up here, and now it's moving up potentially to this area. Now we do have some potential further sell-offs, maybe around 20% or so, maybe even 30 to 40% if we go all the way back down here again. But I'm thinking right now this is forming a little bit of a potential pennant pattern, and what I could see myself doing, because a lot of the there's always a lot of support in this area. We can just draw a bit of a baseline here, right here, because this is where we broke above, had support for a few times, and once we weren't able to hold this area, we sold off. We had a retest in this area. We had a big rally from this area. We had another retest. We had a retest here. We had some price action, potential bounce here, but then it became new resistance, and we had a breakout. So this kind of $23 zone is really, really significant. So what I'm thinking about doing is maybe entering a swing trade with SPCE, looking for a pop back to 30. That's about a 25% upside. If we break this support here around 23, I would cut my losses pretty quickly. I'm not sure if I would be able to cut my losses before it went to $21 or something like that, so that I could be risking around 5% or so, maybe even up to 8 or 10. But I have that potential upside for 30%. So at worst, I think this could be a 1 to 3 risk reward setup. Very, very quick trade, if anything, and it is in a downwards trend, so you do have to watch out here because this is a little bit more risky. So you want to have your risk management kind of in lock here. So I'm looking for that quick move back to the 180-day simple moving average, kind of this gap down area, and then take my profits and walk away. So I wouldn't be looking for a full-on move to 50, even though I think, we could also be seeing something like that in this longer pennant pattern. So that's what I'm looking for space. I know space tourism is really hypey right now, especially after Virgin Galactic sent 4 tourists up in space. And so that's trending on the news right now as well. So we'll see. Right now, it's definitely found a big bottom here with, sell volume pretty light. So that's also a good sign that people aren't really that interested to sell in these areas. So let's keep going to the other ticker, and that's IRNT. That was the ticker we were day trading. And big reason for that is IRNT is a Wall Street bet play, so it's got a lot of hype behind it, and right now we are in a parabolic up front side move. I really, really like that. So what I'm looking for is maybe a little bit of support to come into this ticker, which we had around 36.66 today. I actually had a limit order for this one already at 30, I think it was 34.5. So I missed that limit order for my swing trade portfolio. So I'm going to keep an eye on this one. Maybe I'll enter it today, but I'm trying to, figure out, do I want to enter IRNT or do I want to enter space? What has the best upside? I also could do 50-50 on the tickers, but, in terms of front side momentum, IRNT definitely has it. Space is more of a dip buy. You can see the shutters in front of me. The sun just came in. I'm still at the Airbnb, so I'm always in these awkward positions. Anyway, IRNT, I do like the fact that if we, let's say, have a double top here, that's already a 60% move. And if we have a move below 35 or so, I can cut my losses. So I think the risk reward on IRNT could be better. Not to mention, you don't really know how high this ticker is going to go. So if it breaks 45 and then eventually breaks 60, we could be seeing some really, really big all-time highs on this one as we're still in a front side move. The big risk, I think, with IRNT more than space is the fact that IRNT could come out with an offering. I'm not really sure, but anytime these tickers pump so long, we've seen it with AMC, we've seen it with GMC. These tickers like to do offerings, and I totally don't blame them. I mean, if you could raise capital at these extraordinary prices, why not do it? It's obviously pretty horrible to the average retail investor, but that's the big risk right now, and most companies are going to take advantage of that. So that's kind of my thesis right now on IRNT. Wait for a little bit of support to come in, and if this ticker just keeps on selling off, I would have to cut my losses, but let's just see. I have no kind of eagerness right now to jump on this ticker. We've had some pretty extensive pullbacks on this one, but right now 35 is the spot to watch. And if we break 35 and it's not really that strong of a break and we start crawling back above 35, I might buy into that momentum back to the upside. But I don't think I'm going to be blindly buying this one on the way down because it could just continue. So yeah, those are my picks. Both tickers I wouldn't be holding too long. I would be looking for a pretty quick resolution with IRNT, at least in the next day or 2 or 3, and with space, probably give it around 2-3 weeks or so. So all right, those are my thoughts on those 2 tickers. Feel free to leave a comment below. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on those tickers, and check out the Discord if you haven't done so already. That's where I always post any entries to my swing trades, obviously on Trade Journal as well. You guys can see my whole portfolio there. So all right, guys, on the way out, don't forget to drop a like if you enjoyed the content. Consider subscribing if you're new, and like always, stay safe, make some awesome trades, and see you first thing tomorrow morning. Ciao, ciao.